Hello everyone and warm welcome to the weekly webinar. My name is Arjun Khara and I'm a business analyst with the Kylas team. So today we would be looking at the new release part 2 that we have recently released on the production environment. So let's look at the agenda for today's webinar. So in today's webinar, we will be looking at the three main features that are recently released, which includes the first scheduled job listing. The second one is bulk update on task. And the third one is support custom field in the redaction workflow. Okay. So before starting with our webinar and looking at it into actual system, the first thing that I would do, I'm sharing my screen of CRM. Okay. So as soon as we log in to the CRM application, the first thing that we would be seeing on the screen is the dashboard. So without performing or going through the topics, the first thing, as I earlier said, is I need to create a lead. So the reason why I'm creating this records is we would be seeing towards end of this webinar. So I'm creating one lead as SAM5. Let me update a dummy email ID for this. Okay, so this sub area, it is one of the custom field that I have added on the lead listing. Okay, and I'm gonna save this record as of now and then make some changes into it. So what changes I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna attach one pipeline to it. That is quick catch, save, and then move it to close unqualified. That's it. Okay. So I got one record that we're gonna see how it will be updated based on our delayed action workflow and how it will be reflected in the listing page. So along with this, I'm gonna update one more thing, that is the contact. Okay. So this is just very simple example for the contact. And similarly, we would see one more example with the lead as to how many things we can perform along with having custom field as well as delayed action. So I'm gonna edit this. Let me put one over here and save. Okay. So what I did just now is that I have added few records and I have already set a workflow with inclusion of delayed action on a 15 minutes of interval. So after 15 minutes on this particular lead and contact, certain action will be performed that I have already set in a workflow. And same I'm seeing on the listing page. So to access this listing page, what we need to do is hit on this burger icon. Okay, so this is our main dashboard. So I will go to CRM setting and then under the automation, I will look for the schedule action. So let me show you those two examples. So this is SAM5 that I created at the start of this video. So I will search for this ID and I'm seeing the execution time, which is at 6:08 p.m. Okay. Same, we will look for contact, which we have updated, that is Ram 1 Jadhav. So here I'm gonna again copy this ID and then look for the execution time, which is 6:09. Okay. So on this screen that I'm seeing is actually the scheduled action which gonna trigger on a certain time that I have already set in a workflow. So how this will be executed based on the condition? Let's see how the workflow will be set up. So this is one of the workflow that I'm gonna show you. Okay. Apologies. Okay, so this is the workflow that I have set, which is lead lost unqualified, and I have given a small description that need to collect the feedback from the lead and possible renegotiation. So by the description, you might have got an idea as to what exactly gonna happen when a particular lead moves to a certain stage. How? Let's see the workflow setup for the same. Okay. So let me go back to the automation workflow and add a workflow. So currently we have three types of entity on which we can create a workflow, that is lead, contact, and deal. So I'm selecting lead, then I'm selecting the action type, and the trigger preference is the delayed action because we want certain action to be performed after some time based on the condition that we will be setting up. Okay. So here I have select the action time, that is when a lead is updated. So whenever a lead is updated and when it matches the condition and the preference that we have set, it will perform the action. Okay, so I'm gonna set it on all the leads, and even we can include some condition into it. So like in the earlier example, the one that I've already said, what I did is on the lead when it is updated, and I have added one condition, that is quick catch, which is one of my pipeline. Okay, and under this pipeline, when the new value is equals to close unqualified. So what I want is whenever there is a lead and it is attached to a pipeline, and if the pipeline new value matches to the close unqualified, then after 15 minutes, so this is the delayed action section on the number 4 that you are seeing. Okay, so here we have the time preference. So currently we are supporting minimum 50 minutes, and we have also included the hours, days, weeks, and years. So with the help of custom field, you can also send birthday reminders or even a festival that is upcoming and you want to send some emails, or give pre heads up to the clients that there are some discounts, and to attract a lot of customers on your campaign that you will be conducting. Okay, then under date properties, we have these 4 parameters that we can select, which includes the actual closure date. So this will be triggered 15 minutes after the actual closure date, or the converted date. So when we are converting a lead into deal, contact, or company, so after the conversion, whatever the time we would be setting up, it will be acted. Same goes for created at and updated at. Okay, then I have included a custom field in this workflow. So let me show you how the custom field is appearing over here. So this is the lead form field. So under this form field, I would be seeing all the form field that are used in a lead form. So let me select the sub area. So here at the bottom, you will see sub area, which is one of the field, and the type is custom. And I have treated it as a pick list. So if I click on it, so I will see the field along with the values that I have entered into it. Okay. So when we created a lead at the beginning of this webinar, so I have added Balewadi as one of my sub area. So if we look at this stage 5, set condition to execute the action is I have selected sub area, which is my custom field. Then the parameter is equals to Balewadi. So what action it would perform is the on number 6. So here what I have done is, so let me show you it on the automation section workflow and then create a workflow. Okay. So I'm going to quickly select delete when lead is updated based on condition for all leads. Repeat it on daily basis for the upcoming 10 days and then set condition. So here what I have done is I have included the sub area then equals to Walker. So in our current example, we have Balewadi. And then under the action, I have chosen reassign. Then I will see the list of users under this system. Plus, I can add one more action over here. That is, I have create task. Then under create task. So this is the create task screen, the regular screen that we see. Here I can give the title, the type, description, the status, priority, and the regular form field that we have on the task. So what I have done here is I have asked to create a task that is feedback and renegotiation, and then assign this lead to this particular user. Okay, so let's quickly go again to this workflow. So I have set this workflow on lead on the basis of delayed action, and the trigger would be performed when a lead is updated. Now under this, I have put some condition that when a lead have quick catch as a pipeline, and under the pipeline, when it moves to close unqualified stage, then after 15 minutes from the updated act on a daily basis for the upcoming 365 days, I should be receiving, or the workflow should create a task as a feedback and renegotiation and then reassign it to one of the user. Okay, so let's refresh and let's go back to our main sales module. So here I'm gonna go to the lead page. Here is SAM 5. I'm gonna copy the ID of this particular lead and look for it. So here it's gonna trigger at 6:08 p.m. and it will perform the action that we have set over here. Okay. So this is one of the topic that we have. Along with this, we also have the other topic that is scheduled job listing. So this is the scheduled job listing page where I can see what are all the actions that are scheduled. So here I can see the workflow name, okay, through which the action gonna perform. Then I have entity type on which the action would be performed. Then I have execution time. So this is the action time to be perform this particular activity. Then we have entity type, which gonna indicate on which entity this particular schedule action will be performed. So like the way we have set it up based on the condition where on the date preference. So that's gonna be considered over here. for the entities on which the action have been performed. So like we have set updated at, then we have status that is scheduled, and at the last we have column scheduled by, which gonna let us know who has scheduled this particular action. And on these three ellipses, we have this cancel and cancel all recurrence. So by just clicking on cancel, I can cancel this particular single event. Then the next cancel all recurrence, which gonna cancel the current as well as all the future recurrence for this. Okay. So let me show you one more example that I have set, which is for the type of contact entity. So here I have set the in this similar way that I have set on the lead. So here I have set delayed action when a contact is updated. So here I can also select when a contact is created. So when a contact is created, I want one of my manager to be known that this particular contact has been created in our in our inventory for the upcoming deals or the current deals that we have, and also we can communicate with the client for the future opportunities with them. Okay, then I have set all contact as my condition, and the time preference here the 15 minutes after updated at, and frequency for the upcoming 5 days. Here you can see that I have not selected any subfield or any condition into context. So I have selected all the contexts wherever there are any updates. And then I have simply selected action is edit field, that is the zip code to 12345. So this is very simple example that I wanted to show, along with the other one where we have the actual business case. So when a lead goes to close unqualified stage, then I want one of my team member to specifically take over the lead, get a feedback from them, and then try to renegotiate to turn them into positive lead and then move them to the future deal. Okay. So now we have met to the time that is 6:08. Okay, so this is the lead. You can see I have opened the same lead on another screen, and then I have clicked on the entity ID from the listing page of schedule action. Okay, so if we closely look over here, the earlier lead shows owner as Arjun Kharat test, and there are no task has been created over here. And same if I go and see the updated one, so I will see owner is Siddhant Kharat and a task has been created and assigned to Siddhant Kharat, that is the feedback and renegotiation. Okay, so if we go back again to our workflow and look over here. So the action type that we have set away, that is the reassign to Arjun Siddhant Kharat and create a task that is feedback and renegotiation. So the delayed action has created the same action that we have already set. And if I need to go over here and if I refresh this particular page, bingo. So I have, okay. So now I'm seeing the new updates, that is the owner has been changed along with a new task has been created. So with the help of schedule action, we can create multiple things such as notifying someone within the organization when a particular lead deal move to a particular pipeline stage, or even when there are certain fields updated in the form. Also, we have introduced the custom field in the workflow. So based on the business type, we can add our custom field, and on those custom field, we can, we can actually use those custom field and include them in the workflow. Okay, so this workflow will be very helpful to automate most of the things based on the business scenarios and cases that falls into different businesses. Okay, now moving to next, that is our last point, is bulk update on task. Okay, so I'm gonna go back to our Kylas here. Okay, let me close my other screen and go back to the main dashboard. So here I'm gonna select the task from the side menu. Okay, so here, if you look at on the left hand side, we have given the checkbox ability for the selection. So when it comes to bulk action, we have seen that most of the time our employees are engaged with the end client in terms of negotiation, calling them, explaining them our product details or the services that our organizations provides. Now, in this case, it may happen that sometimes the employee miss to update certain things, but not to worry. Now the updating of a task one by one, we have totally reduced and introduce the bulk update. So I can select the task in a with the help of checkbox, or I can also select all the tasks that are available with me. So let me select this the two tasks that I have in this system, and I will see two buttons appear here as soon as I select the checkbox. So one is to delete, so I can delete multiple tasks at a time. Plus, I can also update the task. So what all fields we have for the update. So let me open up the added task form. So here we are seeing the name type, which is the drop-down field, then description, status, priority, then we have due date, the reminder, assigned to, and relation entities. Now let me go back and click on the update for this two tasks. Okay, now as soon as I click on this button, a pop-up will open up and I will see a message that reads out to select a field that needs to be updated. So here, if you look at this list, so it is the same field that we have on the task form, which means you can update any of the field that is available on a task. Let it be name, the type, description, status, priority, due date, reminder, assigned to, or even relation to any of the entities. So what I'm gonna do here is name, update name in bulk. Okay. So here on the backside of pop-up, if you see the task reads out as bulk update, and the name that I have chosen over here is update name in bulk. And on the bottom of the screen, you will see two buttons. One is cancel and second one is for update. So this update button currently is disabled. Now why? So I have another checkbox over here which reads out as I understand that the changes made cannot be undone. So this is one of the warning that we want to give to the user so that they will be aware that once the actions are performed, it cannot be undone. So it would be again need to be done manually. So I'm going to select or click on update. So here on the bottom of the screen, I have received a toaster message which gonna give me a job ID for the bulk update. So where I can find this bulk job ID is, again, we will go back to CRM setting, then go to data management, and here we will see the bulk jobs. So here I will see the job ID, the entity type on which I have made the bulk action, the operation type, whether it was delete or update, by whom it was submitted, the total number of records the bulk action includes, and the timestamp for submitted and completion, along with the summary file, which will include all the entity IDs that were included in the bulk action, and the last one is the status. Also at the bottom, we have the pagination, which is gonna list down all the history of bulk job action. So let's go back again to task and refresh. So as soon as I refresh, I will see the name has been updated to update name in bulk. So now with the help of bulk update, I can actually update the name, the type of the task, whether it's a to-do, follow-up, or call, the description we specify for the task, then the status, whether it's completed or not. Then we have priority, whether it's a high, medium, low. Then due date, we can also change due date for multiple tasks. So to give you a small example, let's say we have set some kind of follow-up with a client or need to send some kind of documentation to a client, but due to unavailability of a client who's gonna be available in the next week, so simply I can update the due date from current week to next week so that they will appear in the next week to-do list. Same the reminder, I can change the reminder timing from, let's say, from 15 minutes to 30 minutes or even 1 hour. Then assign to, I can assign the task to different users available in my team in a bulk, and then also update the relation of entities. So as soon as I select assign to, I will see the list of employees available in my system. Okay. So this includes all the points that we have for today's webinar. So let's go back again to our PPTs. So today we have seen how the job listing will look like and what information it includes. Then we have seen how we can utilize the custom field in a delayed action workflow, which gonna help our different businesses based on their business type and how they will include the custom field which will suit their lead addition or deal and even contact and company. And last but not the least is bulk update on tasks, which is, I believe, gonna be very helpful to the lot of people. Okay, so this includes the topic for today's webinar. So thank you for joining this webinar.